All right, we're back. You know, our nation is at war with itself. The truth is that we have been indoctrinated with the idea that self-reliance and self-sufficiency are not legitimate and valid traits to be sought after. We've been trained, if you will, to follow the leadership of this nation into a willing level of slavery that I find incomprehensible. Right now, the race is on to develop a level of dependency in this government that is unknown in the history of mankind. You see, the idea of taking a nation and taking and getting absolute dictatorial control can be accomplished in two ways. The first is by force of arms. The second is by trickery and skullduggery. And that is where we are. Because, you know, even totalitarians evolve their thinking. And they learn from the mistakes of previous authoritarians. The race is on to develop a level of dependency right now in this nation that is unknown in the history of mankind. Because they know and recognize that once enslaved, the minions will do anything to retain those benefits, their privilege, their entitlement. They'll willingly sell out neighbors and friends. They'll sell out their parents. They'll sell out their children. They'll sell out their families. Because it's an addictive drug of largesse. And it is far more dangerous than heroin. Even the government worker is part and parcel of this. You know, there's a story out this morning about the Bureau of Labor Statistics that state that government workers are absent from work 50% more than private sector workers with the same exact job functionalities. The example is there as well. The government worker has benefits that are provided by the largesse of the largely unassuming citizenry, the taxpayers. This behavior is addictive, and it's as addictive, I should say, as the unbalanced level of our population that seeks this life of ease. The life of ease that is paid for by others. The inimitable they. Well, I don't know who they are, but it's just those people. They're paying. It's government. With the complete blinded ignorance that government doesn't produce anything. It only takes from some to give to others. Any other. They don't even care who. Could be their neighbor, could be some guy on the other end of the country. They don't even care. As long as it's there. And I'm not asking any questions. I just want my check. I just want my phone. I just want my welfare. I just want my EBT card. I just want my job benefits. I just want my pension. Government employment for these people is simply their, quote, drug of choice. I get it that many folks don't go into it with that. That they probably go into these jobs well-meaning when they enter the world of government-subsidized employment. But the truth of the matter is, they become corrupted. You know, these are the workers who have the same desire to be an addictive personality, addictive to largesse. These are the ones who can't stay home and play all day and watch soap operas and play video games while they're living on some minimal stipend of dependency handed out to them by some government official who is snapping the cuffs around their wrists at the same time. These are the people who can't. They're good. They're workers. They're worker bees. But they still seek the warm embrace and the smothering hug of the nanny state. The comfort and the security. How many times have you heard government employees say, I got a job in government because of this job security? You just heard them utter their own statement of addiction. It's the opposite of self-reliance. It's the opposite of self-independence. It's the opposite of integrity and belief in yourself. You don't feel that you are capable of making it. It's like the kid who's 40 years old and still lives at home. The truth of the matter is, between those who are completely anesthetized, 40% of America is on antidepressants. Some other significant unknown percentage is sitting there smoking dope all day long. You know, there was an article out on MedPage, pot smokers who quit find it hard to function. Well, guess what? Being a pothead makes you apathetic and anesthetized to the world around you. That's your addiction. You can't be a critical thinker. You can't be a valid participant in your own life, in the war for liberty and freedom. You can't be a part of the effort to restore our nation to some level of sanity when you're constantly anesthetized, whether it's to marijuana or the largesse of the public treasury. The truth of the matter is, Americans as a collective group refuse to see the face of the cliff hanging right before us as we are racing down the face of it at a terminal velocity. And that's a level of intellectual dishonesty I cannot accept. The enslavement of America is happening willingly. I got to tell you, the level of foolishness that's associated with this, the self-denial, plain flat-out denial. These people who, sit and spend all of their time. I saw a picture the other day of a poster for this abortion protester. You know what the poster read? Abortion on demand and without apology. Wow. I've got to, at that point in time, consider the distinct possibility that person is mentally unbalanced. How can I even think that? Well, I'm gonna give it to you in a brief understanding, in a brief analogy. Look, the world is full of injustice. True injustices. Starving children, people who go without homes, people who are living in the street in a refrigerator box. There are people who are in prison languishing there that don't belong there. There are tragedies of rape and murder and horrific acts by men against men. To be so singularly invested in this issue of abortion, it brings me as an observer to the conclusion that there has to be a serious mental incapacity that controls the life of that individual. How the death of an innocent baby can become an all-consuming issue for you of civil rights is contrary to the principle of the sentience of awareness. But yet you blindly sit there and you play addict to this game. It's incomprehensible. The nation's coming apart at the seams. The world is falling into authoritarian control. And your greatest concern is whether or not you can get an abortion without apology? Of all the hubris in the universe, that one takes the cake. The Senate wants to revive this radical UN treaty on disability. It's another dependency game. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, we can't possibly be satisfied with only 53% of the nation living on government largesse. Well, let's shoot for 80 or 90%. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? The UN has a treaty out there which we barely escaped out of with our lives last time it went before the Senate. And again, they're trying to revive this thing and pass it. And that monster, Harry Reid, the last time he tried to push it through with, this parlor trick in the Senate. But it's a dependency. It's a global dependency. It subverts the sovereignty of the nation and forces us to allow this unrealistic, concept of everybody's disabled in some way, shape, or form and entitled to some level of largesse. I guess what I'm trying to express here is this. At some point in time, when the money runs out and the politicians get tired of hearing your begging and your pleading voices for more, and they pull the rug out from underneath you, the only way that they can ultimately push you away is to destroy you. They will get tired of hearing your clamoring for more, me. And the resources aren't there for everybody to ride free. I mean, it's insane. We've become a planet that doesn't seek to push ourselves even to the level of self-reliance. I'm convinced that dependency on government is the most serious addiction in the history of mankind. And we're seeing it grow and develop with the alacrity of cancer. And it's becoming metastasized, systemic. We are addicts to slavery, willingly placing our hands forth and saying, please, put on the chains. As long as I get a bowl of soup, a loaf of bread. I got to tell you, it doesn't bode well for humanity. And it certainly doesn't bode well in the one place, the one location on the planet that still has some vestige of man's desire for individual self-reliance and greatness. The ability for you to be a man, a self-made man, the constructor and the leader and the maker of your own destiny. Where has that gone? Where has that gone? I weep for us because I fear the worst. And this isn't idle speculation. The proof is all around us. The evidence is everywhere to see. It's impossible to ignore. So the question is, where do you stand? Do you recognize it within yourself? If you feel it, if you have it, if you've got that pull, that pull of addiction, within your own life, do you recognize it? Do you see it for what it is? And what will you do about it? The truth is, if you're not willing to stand up and fight back against it, it is a darkness that will consume you. It'll consume you with fear and anesthetization, apathy, the willingness to accept the new normal. Personally, I find that abhorrent, and you should too. In fact, I believe that you already do. I just cannot for the life of me understand why the nation is willing to acquiesce, to hold the napkin and the handkerchief themselves and put the ether over their nose and mouth. When the danger is most full, when the danger is most clear and at its nearest point, the nation is willing to grab the handkerchief and the ether and go to sleep so they don't have to watch their own end. You've been listening to America's Voice Now. My name is Michael Evans. You can find us on the web by going to americasvoicenow.org. You can find us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/America's Voice Now. And then you can also find our YouTube page, or YouTube channel, I should say, by going to youtube.com/America's Voice Now. We promote and put up every post that we do there, every show that we record, we put it up there. We stream it live on our website, 8 to 10 a.m., Monday through Friday. You can jump on our website and watch it live, or you can catch it later on YouTube or on our Facebook page. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I'm going to talk about the Libertarian, the Tea Party, and the Patriot. And what's in a name? What does all this mean? We'll be back in just a second.